What's going on, guys? This is Jason of Auglitical. I swim through politics so you don't drown too. I'm just a man trying to bring common sense in a world where common sense isn't so common. I really don't know what it is. I don't know if it's something in the air. I guess because it's New Year's, everybody's just showing up, or maybe these things are just being reported more. I don't know what it is. Maybe they got a fresh stock of people reporting this type of stuff, or maybe it's a new administration coming out that now they're really reporting the real shit that's happening instead of suppressing these stories. I don't know. But I'm going to be here to report on these things, well, no matter where it happens, whether it happens in New York, California, Texas, or across the pond, because people need to be informed about these things. Because even though you can't become a vigilante overnight, you can arm yourself with knowledge so that when you're in a situation, you're best prepared for whatever that you need to do, whatever decision that you decide to take. And I say it this way because you already know YouTube over here. They like to censor videos, they like to suppress videos, they like to take videos down without anybody even having knowledge of it. So let's get into it.
Okay. I mean, I would echo it. Safety is
Station agent Noreen Mallory, who was attacked. Bro, I'm trying to read something.
paramount.
Get out of here. And then if I press pause, the fucking ads pop up. This shit is crazy. Station agent Noreen Mallory, who was attacked, says safety is paramount as New York City subway crime jumps up by nearly 20%. Now, I need you guys to understand something. Crime in the subway systems, as I said before, it's always the buses and the trains. And with the trains, you have it's not only homeless people, but they make up a big chunk of it, probably the majority. You have a lot of homeless people that just ride back and forth the trains throughout the entire day. If you go to New York City, that's where you're gonna find mostly all of the people who tend to commit crimes are on the trains. And this can be easily prevented, but they won't do it. Instead, like I said, they have this stupid, flaky, lefty tolerance approach to it, which is if we make you feel good, you can ignore everything on fire in the background. It's mostly peaceful. That's the bullshit that they try to pull in New York City. And again, stop blaming the fucking people in New York City because the people of New York City don't want this either. I need you guys to understand this. Out of all of these years, New York was the closest to flipping red. The closest. I think even California almost came close to flipping red. So again, it's not that the residents don't want to be protected because when all of the shit was popping off with BLM, it was the biggest rise of gun ownership, legal gun ownership in New York City because they wasn't with the bullshit. Again, stop sitting there with your stupid tribalistic mindset thinking, oh, well, the people over there deserve what they get. Those people didn't. You have your usual suspects that don't give a shit. You have your types who they like this type of shit. But the majority of people don't want nothing to do with this. So stop looking down on them and sitting there and thinking that it can't happen to you because they're dropping crazies off every fucking where. It's not just New York, it's not just California, it's not just Seattle. It's not even just America. So stop your bullshit. You need to. I'm turning into Jummy Swole. You need to do better. But you know what I mean. So stop the bullshit. Let's keep going. I'm gonna stop yapping.
I cannot tell you how much of an issue this is amongst station agents. And all of us who work here, it's an issue. We're concerned about our safety when we go out on the platforms. I mean, if you ride the subway, and I'm sure mostly everybody in this room has been on this subway at some point or during the week, and you see the different things that go on, the mental illness, the homelessness, and all of that.
Some people see things that people only see 2 or 3 times in their entire life. You have people who see shit like this every single month, 4 times, 3 times, 5 times, every single month. And they have to sit there in society, act like as though the shit doesn't exist and go about their day. That's the big difference between people who post shit on Twitter, people who post shit on Facebook. Oh, why didn't nobody do anything? I would have stood up. Raise your hand if you would have done something. That's the big fucking difference. The human spirit can only take so much before you grind it the fuck down. Imagine seeing this shit consistently throughout the years. Again, it's a different mindset. So get off your fucking high horse.
If it's a risk to the public, it's a risk to us.
So let's read this article. A knife wielding maniac with a history. Make this bigger. There we go. Get out of here, man. Get out of here. All right, let's get it. Now it's too goddamn big. Ain't that a bitch? All right. A knife wielding maniac with a history of mental illness and 87 prior arrests is wanted in connection with at least two stabbings in the subway this week, the Post has learned. Cops searching for Jamar Banks was warned to use extreme caution when encountering him because he is believed to be armed with a large knife. Most New Yorkers are. I don't know when it became the standard. Like it's like, oh, you know what? We're not gonna have people be able to protect themselves legally with firearms. So everyone's just equipping knives. Even people who think that they're good guys, they're equipped with knives. So it's like, okay, well, once you pull out a knife is a very romantic weapon. When you have a knife, bro, you're right in front of the person. You're gonna stab that person, right? A knife is not a defensive tool. And a crazy person that decides that he wants to attack you isn't going to stop because he has a knife, because you have a knife in your hand. Now, a gun, on the other hand, that's a little different. But again, a knife is not a defensive tool, but it's the weapon of choice for people in New York. Again, and again, even if you try to defend yourself with a knife, after you done turned this person into Swiss cheese, how do you think it looks on you? I mean, then again, there was a black guy who killed this person who was doing bullshit with a knife. They let him go. Then you got a white guy who protected people on the subway station without a knife. They tried to put him under the jail. Yeah, okay. Selective outrage. Um, Cops searching for Jamar Banks was warned to use extreme caution. Okay, check this out. Banks is 52 years old and is known to frequent the number 2 and number 5 subway lines, according authorities said in the message. So this man is 52 years old and has learned nothing, and he is still stabbing people and has a long history of arrest. And then when I say some shit like kill him, I'm looked at as wrong. I'm looked at as though I'm evil. There are some people who are just not redeemable, and if they are, what? So what? When he turns 80, he's gonna be redeemable? Is that even? What's the point of that? He's already hurt how many people? And you could tell that this man is homeless. He look homeless. He look crazy as hell. All right. He's being sought in connection with stabbings on January 1 and January 2, according to the NYPD. A surveillance photo allegedly shows Bank holding a knife in gloved hands. He has a very, very lengthy arrest history, a police source said. It looks like he rides the rails back and forth. A lot of homeless people do that. A lot of homeless people do that. Banks is wanted for allegedly approaching a 31-year-old man from behind on a 2 train on 14th Street and 7th Avenue on Manhattan on Wednesday and starting an argument before stabbing him in the back and running away. So, coward. So that's his method of attack. I'm guessing that's his method of attack. And a lot of crazy people do that. A lot of crazy people will come out of nowhere, find any type of little thing to start with you to do their bullshit and to act out. And they do their bullshit and act out. At least 80 to 90% of them do their bullshit and act out because they know that they can more than likely get away with it because no one's going to do anything. Everyone's going to put their head in the sand. He is also suspected of knifing an off duty MTA cleaner in the back and armpit around 6 a.m. Thursday after starting an argument with the victim. Method of attack. Yo, I'm like a foot man. Where's my Batman cowl, bro? I want the cowl that turns my eyes white and fucking starts analyzing shit. Man. He's also suspected of knifing an off-duty MTA cleaner in the back and armpit around 6 a.m. Thursday after starting an argument with the victim on a northbound 6 platform at the Pelham Bay station in the Bronx, police said. The attacker fled after the stabbing. Yes, he's a coward. Listen, I'd rather him be a coward than be a person who has like you know what's actually crazy? I prefer him to actually have stabbed these people and ran away and not hit any of their vitals than he's purposely aiming at people's necks or people's hearts. Shit like that. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. It could have been much worse. But you get what I'm saying? A person that's like that is fucking crazy. Both victims were taken to hospitals in stable condition. Banks' rap sheet includes arrests for charges including attempted murder, weapons possession, assault, criminal trespassing, turnstile jumping, and petty larceny. Again, he has a long, long, long rap sheet. I don't know if you guys recently saw the Ukraine fighter versus the Russian fighter, where it was CQC, and I believe the Russian fighter eventually was able to pull out a knife and he killed the Ukraine soldier. And after the engagement, um, they were both complimenting each other, and it was both a sign of respect because they were both in a situation that they didn't want to be in, and it was fucking terrible. It's a terrible situation. It's a See, this is the thing that people don't understand, right? A situation like war, where shit like that is expected, in a situation when you're in civilian life, it's a big fucking difference, and a lot of people don't really get that. They don't understand that how you could have two people who they're fighting for their homelands and literally killing each other, and then at the end of the day, it's a mutual level of respect to people who are just going on their day to day. Look at this motherfucker pulling out a knife, bro. 57, 50, is he 57? 57, right? 52. 52 years old, hasn't learned a goddamn thing. And then you'll have those people, oh, rehabilitation is important. It's important to we can rehabilitate people who have 52 arrests. It's like, what is the fucking point, bro? And again, he's gonna kill somebody if he doesn't get caught. And then what's he gonna do? You're gonna catch him and then let him go? But this is what I was saying about the differences is that you have people that they don't really understand. They don't get the concept that this is not something that should be happening in civilian life. And this is the kind of the thing that why I kind of hammer it home so many times. You have people who are saying, let's. So here's the thing. You see how bad this situation is where you got a man just going around stabbing people and he's just been stabbing people consistently over and over? Imagine bringing somebody from another continent, another country, who doesn't have American values, and this is just their method of life. This is just their way of life. And they're just bringing these people over. It's the difference between our criminals and their criminals, right? We have savages and we have monsters. They have savages and they have monsters. They have a lot more because of the way that they were brought up, the conditions that they grew up in, right? So when it comes down to the value of life, yeah, we got some people over here who don't care about the value of life, like Jamar Banks over here. They have hundreds of them. They literally have super prisons the sizes of parts of. Man, just the logistics of it. There's a lot more of them over there than there are of us. And yeah, we can take them out. We can, but we can't take them out if they're inviting them over into our backyards. If we're inviting them over into our neighborhoods. I'm just being honest. People need to wake the fuck up. Bonds allegedly stabbed a man in the leg with a kitchen knife on Manhattan subway around 11 p.m. on October 11, 2022. The 22-year-old victim told he boarded the non-bound 2 train at Fulton Street and that his attacker got on 72nd Street and attempted to sit on his girlfriend's lap. So again, this is a person who is fucking unhinged. This is a person who is unhinged. This is a person who does not respect people's boundaries, doesn't doesn't understand the meaning of personal space, doesn't value human life whatso fucking ever. Put him the fuck down. And if YouTube turns around and goes, "Oh, you're saying things that's too mean," or you got some shitty lefty in the comments going, "Oh, so it costs more to put them to death. We should just have them live out their sentences in prison." Fuck you. You know what's crazy? El Salvador is now running a victory lap. El Salvador was one of the most violent countries in the world. They just said, you know what? Fuck that. They got a person in office who wasn't playing that bullshit with their fucking gangs, and they just said, you know what? If you in a gang, you going to prison, or if you in a gang, we just gonna kill you, right? All the gangs ran out of El Salvador. They have a victory lap that's so goddamn profound that I believe that now they're in Haiti. Like they sent some of their troops over to Haiti to deal with crime over there. And you gotta say to yourself, wait a second, why can't we do that here? And the reason why we don't do that here is because we sit on this fucking again, we're grandstanding like we're so much better than other places. These other places were good places before they got taken over by crime and gangs and became the third world. So what ends up happening is that once reality sets in, once you start getting rid of all of the fucking the bad boss bitches who think that they're Wonder Woman, once you get rid of the oh it costs a lot more to put them to death than to just have them serve their prison sentence because you realize it's a life and death situation. It comes at that person's door, and they can't sit there and say things like, oh, materials mean nothing compared to a human life. And reality sets in, they get shit done, they handle shit. I don't understand why we as Americans, we in America that have the resources to stop this shit, keep allowing this shit that undermines us and makes our society fucking crumble till it's gone. You import the third world, you get the third world. This is third world behavior. We're supposed to be better than this. My man's been arrested how many times already? Attempted murder? Man, listen, man. When the victim asked Banks to step back, Banks allegedly pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the lower leg. The officers who responded applied a turbanet. I don't know if I said that right. And the victim was taken to the hospital. Banks was arrested on December 14th for an attack and charged with assault with intent to cause injury with a weapon. It wasn't immediately clear what happened to the case after that. They let him go clearly. He's still walking the fucking streets. In June 2015, Banks was accused of bursting out of a McDonald's bathroom at 14th Street and 6th Avenue and stabbing a man who had knocked on the door to see if the facility. Imagine getting fucking stabbed. Imagine going to a McDonald's, ordering some shit, and you order some shit just because you got to use the bathroom. So you just order some shit. You probably don't even eat the fucking food, but you gonna order you a double cheeseburger. You knock on the door. They tell you you say, can I use the bathroom? You say, oh yeah, just go knock on the door. You knock on the door, and this motherfucker comes out of the bathroom and stabs you. Put this motherfucker down. And I know there's people that sit there and they go, oh, you only talk badly about women. You never go after men. I'm clearly talking about a man right now. I'm not only am I talking about a man, I'm talking about a man who shares the same skin color as me. My channel is rated E for everyone. Everyone who does something stupid should get it. It's that simple. I don't give a fuck what side you on. I don't care what your skin color is. I don't care what your sex is. It needs to be changed. This is fucking crazy. Yo, can you imagine knocking on a fucking door and you get stabbed for it? Um, in June 1997, Banks was charged with attempted murder after a man bumped into him, allegedly prompting Banks to shoot the man in the leg. Now again, I think that his method is he's not trying to kill people, right? But he's just fucking crazy, right? And be lucky he hasn't gone that far down that he wants to kill people. But he has the outbursts that he's going to kill somebody, right? All of these outbursts that he's doing, it's not a coincidence that he hasn't killed somebody just yet. The problem is, why are we gambling to wait to see?